Howdy partners, it's Ricky Cicchini here, the VP of Product at Cloud Radio. With the release of our powerful new role assignments feature, I wanted to go ahead and release a few videos to show a couple of use cases to help you get the most out of role assignments. In this video specifically, we're going to be creating and managing a Tier 1 technician role whose goal is to help manage the portal, understand how to limit their view to a few clients, or maybe all of them, we'll look at both cases, and how to submit tickets on behalf of someone to enhance support experiences. Let's get started. Okay, so we're in Cloud Radio now, and let's take a look at our goal here, which is to create a user that has the ability to create and submit tickets on behalf of users and also impersonate users to help out with their portal, make sure they're seeing the things they should be, make sure nothing weird's happening so they can verify things themselves. So there's 3 steps to this process, but I'm going to add an extra 4th one just for the sake of the video, which is to check out the current state of that user. Now, we're in my tenant Azure Div Technology. We're going to pick my user that I'm going to choose as this example under my usage users list. And my user is Jimmy Techman, somebody who I've already created. And we're going to verify the access Jimmy has right now. So Jimmy is a very basic user inside of my partner company. Under the role assignments tab, I can see that Jimmy is just a user. If I impersonate Jimmy and check out what he's got going on right now, we're going to see that, like we expect, he's got a limited feature set. No access to even jump to other companies. Right now, he is just a basic user. So when we do things like what we're about to do, or any of the use cases in any of the videos we've produced, we're going to want to kind of do it in 3 more or less same steps. Number 1 is to create the role that we want to apply to our users. Number 2 is to assign that role using role assignments. And number 3 is to double check their access and make sure we like what we see. So now that we've picked our user, let's run through that list. We're going to create the role that we actually want now. We'll start off by going to Partner and Security down here, and we're going to start by creating the role using the Roles tab here at the top right. So first things first, and I'll blow this up so I can show you guys a little better. We're going to create a new role by clicking Add Role at the top and naming it whatever helps us understand what this role is intended for. In this case, we're going to call it a Tier 1 Tech, and I'm going to paste my description that I already have written, which is to assist with ticket submissions and just assist in support of the portal. This type of role really only needs impersonation of users. This is going to allow, in this case, my guy Jimmy to get into specific users and double check their access. I don't need to give him impersonate administrators because I'm not trying to get him in to actually manage a portal and manage a company. I just want him to troubleshoot users. As far as module permissions goes, all Jimmy needs is access to the clients. And he doesn't need a lot of access. He just needs basic read access. Because Cloud Radio roles stack on top of each other, I don't need to create a new set of permissions for him. I can give him the basic user role plus the role we're about to give, meaning that he will additionally gain client read access. So all these additional roles, you don't have to spend time like I am right now going through and marking no access across the board, but it'll help you guys understand as we look at this that they do stack and they're not going to break anything. If you gave him the exact same access as he had before the user with the addition of this, it would work the same, but I like to keep things simple. So you can see that I've created a Tier 1 additional set of tech permissions. Now I've got to apply them. So applications happen through role assignments. We're going to click on that. And this is the screen where you can kind of see what role people have, if they have multiple roles, just kind of get a pulse on who's got what. And I'm going to click on Add Role Assignment to apply that role to Jimmy. Now, the first example we're going to do here is giving Jimmy access to all clients and all users to be able to support users across the portal. So for that, we're going to want the global scope, which is the partner scope. And that does not require us to select a specific company or set of company groups. That's just global. Everybody has access to this. And we're going to want to select the role we just created, our Tier 1 technician. And we're going to select a user. We're going to make Jimmy specifically the user that gets this Tier 1 tech. We'll come back and do some other examples here in a second. So all I've done so far is saying Jimmy the Tech Man gets this Tier 1 technician role. So what that means for me is that when I go to Jimmy's tab up here, again, I was impersonating him, I should be able to refresh and see that he has gained access to that partner tab and gained access to that client sub tab, and that's about it. I don't need him to have full access to anything else. Let's double check. Sure enough, cool. So when Jimmy now goes into partner clients, he has read-only access here. He can access any client, but he can only do so in a limited fashion. So if you wanted to go supporting a generic user inside of Blue Light Co., let's say, he can click on here and do impersonate user. He doesn't have the full set of accesses. And when he goes into the company, he can poke around and test it and make sure it looks good without you giving him edit capabilities across the board. If Jimmy wants to support a specific user, again, from the partner clients list, he can use the users tab. He can find the company he's trying to support. Again, in this case, we're doing Blue Light. And Jimmy can impersonate a specific user, Gordon, Bob, anybody, and get in there and help them. So when he clicks on the specific 3 dots by that user, he can impersonate the user, or if the feature set supports it, he can also jump in straight to the report a problem request service as that user. So let's try that. Clicking on that, Bob Ford is our impersonated user as Jimmy right here. We could submit tickets. Something like this is, again, really useful to help users troubleshoot the portal itself, but also if Jimmy fields a call from Bob in this case, he can go ahead and submit the ticket and ask Bob the questions that the form asks to improve the user experience and still stabilize and standardize the way that the questions get asked, log everything nicely. So there's quite a good use case for having our technicians be able to jump in the portal and manage users this way. So 2 things are going to come up here, and we'll go ahead and address them. Number 1 is, as you may have seen, Jimmy, despite being a user in our partner company, can impersonate your point of contact administrator. So Bob Ford actually has more permissions than Jimmy had. So keep that in mind. This is not a system flaw. It's not an accident. We wanted to give users the ability to get in and really assist and see exactly what those administrators see. So if you are particularly sensitive about showing financial information, and in this case, if Bob has access to invoices and agreements, the technician can see those. So unless those are disabled in this company's feature set, they will be able to see exactly what they see. And again, this is to support them properly and make sure that they see what they see. So keep that in mind. The second use case that we're going to talk about is maybe you don't necessarily want Jimmy to have access to absolutely every company. There are a lot of MSPs that we work with that want their technicians to be broken up by subsets or specific companies instead of absolutely everybody. So if that's the case, when we first did the role assignment here, we did it to the partner scope, the global scope. And what we want to do then is we're going to go ahead and delete the same one that we created earlier. So we're going to click on our Tier 1 Tech Jimmy Technician. We do not want it to be a partner scope because, again, that's global. So we'll delete that. Jimmy will be reverted to the default role of user, which he already was. And we're going to redo a role assignment here. The difference is we're not using partner. We're not giving them global access to all clients. We can either pick specific companies, or if you have Cloud Radio Enterprise, you can kind of do a little bit more creative work by picking specific company groups. So if you have Enterprise, you can use your company groups that you may already have set to give specific people access to subsets of your clients. It's more common and useful in like account management stuff, but it can apply in this case too. But to make this video applicable to everybody, I'm going to select a company. So if I wanted to do the same thing at a smaller scope, I'm going to select the scope type of company. Then I'm going to pick the specific company that I want him to have access to. So in this case, we'll keep it Blue Light. And then we're going to pick the role that Jimmy has access to. So in this case, same thing, Tier 1 Tech. And we're going to pick the user. Again, user group. Cool way to do this a little bit faster or at scale, but that's for CSA Enterprise. And we're going to pick user, and we're going to pick Jimmy from the user list. Important to note that this feature and this process is not designed to give users outside of the partner company this type of access. So you're not going to be able to give a co-managed partner in your 5th company, not your partner company, access to other companies because it's specifically for users in your company to have this kind of flexibility. So just keep that in mind. So basically what I've done is the same thing we did before, but instead of all clients, I'm saying specifically give him tech access to Blue Light Co. So with this level of access, what I expect to happen when I refresh the screen is I want all of these companies to go away and Jimmy to only be able to support Blue Light Co. Sure enough, right? Exactly the same thing as before. The difference is that when Jimmy goes to see the company or impersonate a user, he's only got that user list of a smaller set. If you want to do more, you can keep adding scopes as needed, and you can keep saying more companies, more companies. Maybe he wants to do dental office and digital torch. And again, those will stack. There's no limit to the number of role assignments you can have. But what's nice too is, again, if you have CSA Enterprise and you're doing this at scale, it can be nice to do it by company group. So if you have your companies tagged as medical companies or Microsoft, and you want a technician to be able to support any type of company tagged as such, you can do that as well. And that can just help to facilitate the speed of which you do this. But not necessary for everybody. More or less, the goal is accomplished in whatever way you like. Hopefully this helped figure out one of the use cases. Stay tuned to our other videos and we'll talk about some other common use cases and how to get the most out of role assignments. Thanks for watching.